Hello YouTube! I'm back again to talk Precure. I've been looking for an excuse to talk about all the girls. I thought what better excuse than to pit them all against each other and put them on a tier list. I'm gonna go for the classic A to F tier, and of course you gotta throw in an S tier because some characters are just a bit more special than others. I can't wait to revisit the girls, so without further ado, I'll just hop right in. I'm gonna go in season order. And that, of course, starts with Cure Black and Cure White. I'm just gonna move them straight to the S tier. Let's not waste our time here. They started it all. They're the trendsetters. They're the icons. Put the respect on their names. Then we do have Shiny Luminous, one of our two Cures who does not have the Cure title. I'm gonna go ahead and put her in the B tier for now. I love her. I could see myself moving her up later, looking at the list and be like, wow, how are you not higher? But for now, I'm gonna keep her in B tier. Now I have the Splash Star girls, Cure Bloom and Cure Egret. I'm a big fan of Splash Star. I don't think it gets the respect it deserves. They didn't pave the way quite as much as our OGs, but I still think they deserve a lot of the credit for how Precure is the way it is today. And I want to put them in S tier. I think I'm going to. I don't want to fill up this S tier too much. I might have to move one of them down. I'm more fond of Cure Egret than I am Cure Bloom, I will admit. So I think I'm going to keep Cure Egret there. I might want to move Cure Bloom down later. You know what? I'm just going to move her down now. I'm sorry. That's so mean of me to separate the girls, but I got to be honest here, and that's my truth. You'll probably notice a trend of which Cures I like the most by how their colors look by the end of this tier list. Now we have the Yes Precure girls. Not my favorite stretch of 2 seasons. I do like the girls though. First we have Cure Dream. I don't think she's the best pink Cure, and I think she was there for a lot of the problems of the season, particularly the romance plot, which sucked so much air out of the show. And I hate to like knock a girl down for a romance that she's associated with, but she is associated with it. I gotta be honest. So I'm gonna put her in C tier. That's fair. Next is Cure Rouge, one of our few red Cures. I think she was a lot of fun. Definitely one of my favorites from the season. I'm gonna put her in the B tier. Next is Cure Lemonade. I'll be honest, she wasn't one of my favorites. I know she's kind of like a fan favorite from that season, but wasn't my personal favorite, so I'm gonna put her in the C tier with Cure Dream. Now it's Cure Mint. She was by far the weakest Cure of this season. I did like her, but she had the least to do of everybody. Very much an afterthought in all regards. And I'm gonna put her in the D tier, even though I do personally like her. I'm just trying to give a good stretch of the tiers. I gotta use them all. Like if I'm ranking all the Cures against other anime characters, I'd probably put them all in like S or A tier just by comparison, but we're strictly in Precure and that's tight competition. Now last but not least is Cure Aqua, and I'm putting her straight in the S tier. I am a huge Cure Aqua fan. I think she stole the spotlight in Yes 5. By far my favorite Cure of the season. My most fond memory of Yes 5 and Yes 5 Go Go is when she had the 2-parter episode. Oh, it was so good. And she had a really good Cure debut too. Like, she wasn't originally gonna be a Cure. It was pretty fascinating. Last but not least is Milky Rose. I think it would be fair to put her in the B tier along with Shiny Luminous. Like, they're not repping the Cure title, but they're icons nonetheless. They've stood the test of time. And if they weren't iconic, I feel like they would just be ignored as non-Cures. But they're not. They are remembered. Now we move into Fresh Precure. Still my favorite season, if you go and watch my season ranking. First up, we have Cure Peach. Again, I think she's really solid. She's not my favorite lead Cure, but she did a good job in the season. So I'm gonna put her in the B tier. That's probably gonna be a pretty full tier by the end of this. Okay, now Cure Berry. I did not like her at first, but then I grew quite fond of her and she was kind of like my second favorite. No, or one of my favorites by the end of the season. That A tier seems pretty empty. I'm gonna put her in the A tier for now. I I know that's probably a hot take. I don't know. I just really grew fond of her. Now is Cure Pine. I really think she did not stick out as much, but the season as a whole was good, so that keeps her from going too low. So I'm gonna put her in the C tier. Now, last but not least is Cure Passion. She really shook the table when she debuted. The villain turned good. What a storyline. She's going straight to the S tier. She really paved the way for a lot of the girls to come. And I think of all the mid-season Cure storylines, the villain turned hero is the most successful in Precure. Props to her. Now we're on to Heartcatch Precure. Another fantastic season. I had it at number 2, I think. I'm always tossing around Heartcatch Fresh and Tropical Rouge are my favorites. So I'm very fond of these girls too. Cure Blossom, she had a pretty compelling arc. Not a good Cure at first, but she really grew into her own. Very solid. I do think she gets a little outshined in this season though. So I'm gonna put her in the B tier. Cure Marine, she was fabulous, so fun, so much personality, definitely a popular archetype amongst the Cures. I adore her, but she's also not my favorite this season. I think the other 2 Cures have yet to rank outshine her a little bit, so I'm gonna put her right in the B tier alongside Cure Blossom. Keep the pair together. I've only separated one pair so far. Sorry, Splash Star. Oops. Next we have Cure Sunshine. She was our mid-season Cure, although it's a little complicated with this season. She struggled a lot with her femininity. I really took to this storyline and just feeling a bit out of place. I think it was a great story to tell. I'm gonna put her in the A tier for now. I almost want to put her in the S tier, but I'm gonna keep her in the A tier for now because I think that S tier is gonna fill up quick, especially because I'm gonna fill up that S tier even more with Cure Moonlight. I just was in awe of her entire character. An older Cure, she lost her fairy and came back from that. It was one of the most gripping storylines I've ever seen in Precure, and it did so much for this season. It all came to a head at the end of the season. It was just masterful. What a Cure. Now we're on to Sweet Precure. We have Cure Melody and Cure Rhythm, I think. I'm not positive. This is where things are starting to get a little blurry for me. Cures aren't as memorable, and I don't like them as much. I think they really struggled at the start of the season with their feud. It was not the most compelling thing to watch. This season does not hold up as well as these other seasons. And I think they got a little outshined by who came after. I'm gonna put them in the C tier. I think that's fair for now. I was tempted to put them in the D tier, but I'm okay if the higher ones have more Cures in them because Precure is awesome. Now we have Cure B, another mid-season Cure, another villain turned hero. I loved Cure B. Definitely one of my favorites of the season. I'm almost tempted to put her in the S tier. I really want to put her in the S tier, but I think I'm going to be stingy and punish the season overall and not put any of them in the S tier because it's not one of my favorite seasons. So last but not least is Cure Muse. I did not like Cure Muse, really. I think it was a fail. I don't think she meshed with the group. I don't think she was awful by any means. I don't think her debut helped the season very much, so I'm going to put her in the D tier as well. Now we have the Smile Precure girls. I can't remember them very much individually. I could go look up their names, but I think they're all gonna go in the same tier, pretty much. Smile Precure is not my favorite season. I think it was a fun season, and I think by the end of the season, I was fond of all the girls to some degree, but none of them really stuck out to me or they've stood the test of time at all based on individuality. So I'm gonna put them all in the C tier. Every last one of them, all 5. Oh, this tier list has Cure Echo. Good for her. I'm happy she got a nod in here. She was fun for one movie. I wish they'd do more stuff like that. I'm gonna put her in the B tier. She can be in the mix with Shiny Luminous and Milky Rose. I think that's fitting. Okay, I'm gonna power through the Doki Doki girls as well. I can't recall their names off the top of my head, and I'm not gonna look them up. They're all going in the same tier besides the one I remember the name of. All 4 of our like starting cures, although I remember Cure Diamond, was it? She came a little later in, but they were all in the mix by the first few episodes. So they're all going in the D tier. Don't like this season very much. And last but not least is Cure Ace. I've reserved the F tier just for her. Total fail of a character. It's unfortunate that things played out the way they did with her, but I can't lie, I do not like her at all. Okay, I've made it to Happiness Charged Precure, the 10th season. First we have Cure Lovely. I think she got outshined in her own season, so for that alone, I'm gonna put her in the D tier. And she got outshined by Cure Princess. Absolutely one of my favorite cures. I'm tempted to put her in the S tier just because I thought she was such a strong character. But this season is not like one of the best seasons ever, so I'm gonna keep her in the A tier for now. I gotta be picky about the S tier so it really counts for something. Oh, we got Cure Honey, the yellow cure. She was not that great at all, I'll be honest. I'm gonna put her in the D tier. Cure Fortune, she doesn't stick with my memory that much either, but I remember her more fondly than I do the other 2. Like, none of them are bad, but I was just so in on Cure Princess this season. That's why I like the season a bit more. But I'm gonna put Cure Fortune in the C tier. I think there was a bit more there, a bit more intrigue with all the mid-season cures. They always have something else going for them. Besides Cure Honey, I guess. I guess she was kind of a mid-season, but she just really got the short end of the stick in pretty much every way. Now we got the Go Princess Precure girls. This is another solid season. I remember it fondly, but I don't feel too strongly about any of the girls. Cure Flora, I think she was great. I'm gonna put her in the B tier. Cure Mermaid, I thought she was great. I'm gonna put her in the B tier. Cure Twinkle, I thought she was great. I'm gonna put her in the B tier. You know, I kind of want to put Cure Twinkle in the A tier. I think she was my favorite cure that season. No, that would be disingenuous. She's not sticking out to me too much. Cure Scarlet, I think she was great. I'm gonna put her in the B tier. I bet you if I revisited this season, I'd probably move 1 or 2 of these girls at least up to the A tier, but time has not been too kind to the season for me. Like, I still think fondly of it, but of all the Precure seasons, one reason or another, it doesn't stick with me quite as much. And, you know, my favorite character on Go Princess, it was the civilian girl. Like, she wasn't a cure, and she stuck out to me more than the cures. So, a little bump for that. Now we're into Mahotsukai Precure. They had their own sequel, season 2. So we have Cure Miracle and Cure Magical. I'm gonna put them both in the B tier. And that's because I'm gonna put Cure Felice in the S tier, my favorite cure of them all. And she outshined the duo in my eyes. I think they're a good 3. Again, this season didn't really stick with me as much. I guess just this middle era didn't stick with me as much. Like, they're not as new. I wasn't as involved watching them week to week. And the older seasons, they stick out to me because you could see the building blocks of Precure in them. So this whole era is just a little off to me. And I think if I revisited, like, Mahotsukai Precure or Go Princess Precure in particular, I'd feel a lot stronger. But this is where I have them at for now. We'll see how time changes things. Now we have Cure, Precure, a la mode. I really am fond of this season. The first three girls, Cure Whip, Cure Custard, Cure Gelato, they've not stuck with me. They've not passed the test of time as much. I'm gonna put Cure Whip in the C tier, but I'm gonna put Cure Custard and Cure Gelato in the D tier because I think they really are not memorable to me much at all, even though I'm fond of the season. Now, Cure Macaron and Cure Chocolat, I'm putting them straight in the S tier. Go lesbians, go. What can I say? I love the gays. Now, Cure Parfait, she was like my favorite of the season, so I really want to put her in S tier. Like, I think I liked her more than Cure Macaron and Cure Chocolat. But that S tier is getting full, and I'm like, okay, the lesbians absolutely earn their spot in the S tier. But Cure Parfait, what did you do that really makes you worthy of the S tier? So even though I like her more, I think I'm gonna put her in the A tier. Even though I like her more. Like, I don't want to fill up that S tier. And like, objectively, she is my favorite, but like, Cure Macaron and Cure Chocolat, look at what they brought to the franchise. Like, I cannot take that away from them and put them anywhere beneath S tier. I might be just being too hard on myself in this tier list. Ugh, this is why I don't like ranking stuff, really. Now I've got Hugto Precure. I really did like this season, and I think all the cures were pretty strong, but they kind of eat into each other. None of them were able to really stand out amongst the crowd. So Cure Yell, I'm gonna put her in the B tier. I think she was very solid. Cure Ange, I'm gonna put her in the B tier. I think she was very solid. Cure Etta, I forgot how to say her name, sorry. But I'm actually like more fond of her than the others. Just a bit, honestly. But I think I'm gonna put her in the B tier as well. I was just so captured by her immediately because in the opening she had that flight attendant outfit on, and I just thought that was so fierce. So she's like always stuck out to me a bit more amongst the crowd, but I'm like, what did you really do to stick out to me? I don't think about her every day as much. She's not as in my mind as the others, really. Now we got Cure Mastery and Cure Amour. Iconic duo. They really added a lot to the season. They've not stuck with me as much with time, honestly. I'm a little shocked by how when I watched that season, I was all over them, but with time, I don't think about them as much. Again, I think this is a season I'd probably need to revisit, and I'd feel stronger about it. But I'm gonna put them in the A tier, because I can't ignore like how obsessed I was with them. Like, I was so obsessed when I watched. Now we got Star, Twinkle, Precure. I really loved this season, and I'm probably gonna fill up the B tier a lot. Cure Star, she's going in the B tier. I thought she was great. Cure Milky, the alien, she was very fun. I'm gonna put her in the B tier. Oh, where'd she go? Okay, there, I put her up a row, okay. Cure Celine, I did like her, but she really faded into the background. I think I'm gonna put her in the C tier, honestly. I remember feeling like there was a lot of wasted potential with her in particular. Oh, Cure Soleil. Oh my gosh, I love her. Our one and only dark skin Cure. She has such a strong arc at the end of the season. I'm almost tempted to put her in the S tier. I'm gonna put her in the S tier. Why not? I don't care. It's my list. I'm just like obsessed with her. Okay, I'm looking at the S tier. I can't keep her there. I'm gonna put her in the A tier. The S tier was more full than the A tier. I can't do that. Oh, I wish I could just like combine the A and the S tier. Like, I really feel strongly about all those girls, but we're really trying to get in the nitty gritty here. Like, the A tier is a compliment. It's okay. Last but not least, Star Twinkle Precure is Cure Cosmo. I really did like her. She did not fit with the group at all. It was a fail. If you can't mesh with the group, what are you doing on the season? So even though I love her and like if she got a spinoff, I'd be seated number one. She didn't mesh with the group, so I have to punch her for that, and I have to put her in the D tier. No, I'm not going to put her in the D tier. I'm going to move her up to the C tier. that's okay. She can be a tier above because I really did like her. I was thinking about Cure Muse, and I'm like, it's kind of the same situation, but I did like Cure Cosmo more than I liked Cure Muse. Even though I'd say Cure Muse probably fit into her team a little more than Cure Cosmo, Cure Cosmo stuck out to me a lot more as a character. Okay, now we got Healing Good Precure, starting off strong with Cure Grace. I think Cure Grace was the best lead cure we've ever seen in Precure. I thought she was extremely well-rounded. I'm gonna put her in the S tier. The other three girls on Healing Good Precure, I remember liking them all to some degree, but they all got outshined by Cure Grace. So I'm gonna put them in the C tier. I think it was a solid season. The season overall was kind of a trip, honestly. Okay, now we're at the seasons where I watched them live, so this is exciting. Tropical Rouge Precure. Oh, I love it. The Cure Summer. She has to go in the A tier. She's legendary. Just a total icon of our times. Cure Coral, she's also going right in the A tier. I adored her. Cure Papaya. She was the wink link cure of the season. We've seen it done before. The yellow, orange, gold, whatever cure. Don't get me into the color wars. Not my favorite of all the colors, as you could probably see by the ranking. But I do think she was a little weaker than the other cures this season. Cure Flamingo, she really sticks out. Right from her debut, you look at Cure Flamingo and you're like, wow, you grab my attention. Another red cure after so long. She was a bit older than all the girls. She definitely captured my heart. Enough to be in the A tier. Now we got Cure Lemaire. She came in the season. She was the mermaid at start. Then she became the Cure. She completely stole the show that season. I'm gonna put her in the S tier. I gotta work my way up there. I know Cure Marine and Cure Lemaire are often compared, and some would say Cure Lemaire is a knockoff Cure Marine, and I got Cure Marine 2 tiers lower than Cure Lemaire. But Cure Marine did not steal the spotlight on the season. Cure Lemaire did. And the B tier, it's still stacked here. Like, that's a solid list of characters. Look at them. But Cure Lemaire, she just had it all. She was a mermaid. A mermaid. I love a mermaid. Now we made it to the delicious party Precure girls. Okay, Cure Precious. I feel so bad for her. She had such a positive energy, but she was on such a terrible season, and she got no attention at all. I have to put her in the D tier. I wanted to love her, but she was failed by the show. Cure Spicy, she was a bit better than the other girls this season. I'll put her in the C tier. I think she was pretty solid. I was always confused why Cure Spicy was a blue cure, but you know, it is what it is. Cure Yum Yum, she had a lot of flair. I'm gonna put her in the C tier as well. And that's mostly because I know Cure Finale is our next cure, and I have to put her in the D tier. I think she was a real fail of a character. The one time the villain turned hero just didn't really work out for me. You know what? I'm actually gonna move Cure Finale down to the F tier. I was trying to really save the F tier for Cure Ace, but I can share the love a little bit. Cure Finale was a total failed character. I don't think there was any redeeming qualities to her, really. And she looked a hot mess. At least Cure Ace. If I had to ever give her a compliment, she looked good. Now we got Hero Guard Sky Precure. This season's hard to rank because the girls really stick out, but nothing was really done with them, so it's kind of a waste. Cure Sky, our first blue lead cure that was an exciting change. I did like her, but I didn't like her A tier. I liked her B tier. Cure Prism, she probably ended up being my favorite of that season. I feel like she had a lot to do. I'm gonna put her in the B tier. Cure Wing, our first boy Cure, didn't amount to anything, which was really disappointing. I think probably the most wasted character of the season, so I'm gonna put him in the C tier. I almost want to put him in the D tier, but I did like him. Cure Butterfly. She was my favorite of the season, but she was also wasted. She did stick out more than Cure Wing. I want to put her in the B tier, but she also had the same downfalls as Cure Wing. Cure Butterfly had the coolest fight scene of the season, so for that alone, I'm gonna stick her in the B tier. Now we got Cure Majesty. She sucked all the steam out of the season. Really took what started off strong and brought it to a halt. I'm gonna put her in the F tier. I just did not like this character at all. Thought she was more interesting when she was just the baby. I don't want to see a baby growing up and being a Cure. It just didn't work for me. Okay, now we have wonderful Precure. We're out of kind of a dark period. This season was so much fun. So we got Cure Wonderful and Cure Friendly, the duo. I'm gonna put them in the B tier. For most of the season in my reviews, I was waiting for something to happen with them, and it did ultimately happen, and they ended the season pretty strong, but ultimately they did get outshined by both Cure Nyami and Cure Lillian, who are going straight into the A tier, no question. They really stole the show. The season started off pretty slow, but as soon as they debuted, it just kept getting better and better and better and better. So they get the A tier. Now we're on to You and Idol Precure, our most recent season. The season kind of ended off being a disappointment, but gosh, it was fun. I still view it fondly, but man, it was a disappointment. I think Cure Idol was the weakest Cure of the season. She annoyed me a lot at the time. I was really struggling with her and how she just kept breaking into that same song. I'm gonna put her in the C tier because I do think the season was pretty solid, but I can't put her higher than that. Now, Cure Wink. Oh, Cure Wink. I had quite a journey with her. I really grew fond of her by the end of the season, but I have to hold the whole season on a bit of a curve because I don't think it was the best, and I think there still is a bit of recency bias. I think she's B tier. Now, Cure Kyun Kyun, she was my favorite. She got done so dirty. My God, if she didn't have one of the best Cure debuts ever, and the best stretch of episodes from this season was Cure Kyun Kyun. So I completely understand why she'd be a lot lower for people, but just off of personal bias, I'm gonna put her in the A tier. And truthfully, I think there's no excuse that she shouldn't have been in the S tier, and the fact that she's not in the S tier, that's enough of a punishment in how she was failed. Because I was a Cure Kyun Kyun super fan from the jump. She was so wasted. This is an icon of our times, Cure Kyun Kyun. Now we got Cure Sekyun and Cure Kiss. Actually, I think I'm gonna separate them. I think Cure Sekyun started off pretty strong, but was giving me nothing by the end of the season. So I'm gonna put her in the C tier along with Cure Idol. I think they were the weakest Cures of the season, and I'm gonna put Cure Kiss with Cure Wink. Cure Kiss and Cure Wink both. I had a rough time with them at the start, but they really rallied by the end. It was interesting to watch that play out. I'm not going to rank the Star Detective girls. It's been 11 episodes at the time of recording. That's not fair. I don't think our main two girls will make it up very high if I put them in right now. And I think our new Cure at the time of recording, we got a villain Cure. She'd be a bit higher. I would not be shocked if she ends up in the S tier by the end of the season. It was so much fun to talk about all the Cures again. Oh my gosh. I love them all. They're my children. And I'm kind of inspired to go rewatch some of the middle seasons that I was like, wow, I remembered you fondly, but I can't rank you high. it got my mind swirling now. I'm all thinking about Precure. If there's anything else Precure I can discuss, I'm gonna try to think about it and find an excuse because I'm always ready to talk about Precure. And I will definitely be talking about Star Detective Precure again pretty soon. I'm just waiting until I've got something good to say. So until next time, stay tuned. Bye.